Hi everybody, I'm back again today. We're gonna try this again. Y'all let me know if you can't hear me well or see me well or whatever, because I'm just trying out different methods of being able to do this podcast. I'm not from the digital age, I'm from the 70s. Yay, everyone out there my age, let's all cheer. We had a good time back then, didn't we? Anyway, thank you for showing up today. And I decided I wanted to start maybe a little bit differently than I had originally planned, because I am just learning the system myself on how to reach everyone through this means instead of sitting behind a desk in my clinic. So what I want to encourage you to do, all of you, please go to, I know you're instant messaging and sometimes I don't have time to respond, please don't be angry, but if you just go to my website and zip me out an email, I want to know what your needs are. I am here to help you. Everyone that is listening to this class, everyone that's coming to me for help, you are important. You are very important. You're the most important person to me, and I want to give you what you need. So I don't want to stand up here, even though I've been doing this for 40 years. I don't want to stand up here like some pious know-it-all and pretend to tell you exactly what you need to do, because the way that we eat, the things that we drink, the medications that we take, food is our medicine. It is us. It's our culture. It's our life. I mean, I've moved all across this country. I've taught weight loss in the Middle East. I was very fortunate to be able to do that. So I've learned a lot of different cultures, and it's different. Eating is a cultural affair. If you're from Alabama, or if you're one of my dear people that I love so much in Tennessee and Georgia, we grew up eating everything cooked with fatback and fried. I didn't even know you could have squash without frying it till I was nearly 16 years old. If you deal with a Muslim population, they're not going to cook something in fatback. I mean, this is cultural. Plus, there's so many different medical needs now that, we all have our opinions where they come from, and I think it's because we are a chemical-laden society. So we're just inundated with all kinds of things trying to kill us off that people didn't have 50 years ago. We have more medication now, but we also have more chemicals and things in our food and our soil and our air and our water, and it's affecting us, and everyone's being affected differently. So if you will email me and let me know, what do you want from me? I know the basics is just basically the basics. Tell me how to lose weight and keep it off. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna also teach you how to repair your metabolic rate so it can start to burn effectively. And you can actually eat instead of starving the rest of your life. I'm gonna teach you how to train your body to do that. If you enroll with me, of course, I'll train your body for you, I'll treat you, and then when it's over, you won't need me again. We'll just be friends for hopefully a long, long time. So that being said, please go to my website. It's www.KetoCatie.com, pretty easy. It's a little misleading because my name is KetoCatie and I don't believe in keto like it's blasted all over the internet and magazines and television, and I don't believe in it. I believe it will kill you. I believe it's extremely unhealthy, and it's just been marketed to a degree that obviously people just want to make money, so they just pull this keto out of thin air, and now they're throwing, I can't even believe the stuff that they're even saying is keto. Have y'all seen that lately? Like, you go on there and there's a thing online and there's donuts sitting there and they're saying keto, and you're thinking, yeah, I'll go. I can go for that. Or, you got fried chicken sitting there on top of all kinds of steak, on top of, just all kinds of just crap that, honestly, we know better. In your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your gut, you can't eat that mess. I don't care how many times they market it. I don't care whose name they put behind it or what celebrity endorses it. And I know you can't eat that way. We instinctively even know it. We didn't even have to have our mamas necessarily teach us. We instinctively know that if we start eating a very high-fat diet, we're going to be fat, for one. So why are they doing it except to keep paying more money to this keto plan to stay on it till the day they die, because they'll never actually reach their goal and keep it off. But also a very high fat diet, fat does not convert to anything in your system. It stays fat. Now, we need fats. We need fats for our fat-soluble vitamins, which are A, D, E, and K. We have to have fat, but we don't need nearly as much as any of us think we need. About 3 teaspoons a day is more than enough, and that includes cooking or eating it. You know, you can, personally, I prefer to cook with a little bit of water in my pan instead of oil or fat, and then eat the fat. I like mayonnaise, I like butter, I like to dip my bread in a little bit of olive oil, so I prefer the taste, but you still can't go over 3 teaspoons. You have to keep it in moderation. So this keto stuff, I'm gonna get a lot of slack. I've already gotten a lot of slack because I call myself KetoCatie, but I do it for a reason. Honestly, I am a keto expert. I've studied it for 40 years. I know all the different phases of keto. I know what they do to you. I know the outcome. I know what you need to be aware of. I know how each individual is just totally different, and it helps me learn about an individual body chemistry if I can watch their ketos. So I'm a keto expert. So that's why I say I'm KetoCatie, but I'm not keto as the world seems to know it now. Actually, I'm kind of a protester against all of that. I would like to be a shining light that sheds the truth and lets everyone know exactly what this is all about. So go to my website, email me, let me know your problems, let me know what you're looking for. Let me know, because I've been doing this since 1977. I've worked with tens of thousands of people. I have so much knowledge in this area that it's hard to pinpoint and dig into just one area at a time. So let me know what you want to learn first, and that's how I'll base the classes according to your needs. So the first thing we're going to do before anyone gets started, you need to go to the website and get my book that's called The Diet, because for 40 years I've called it The Diet, and it is The Diet. It's the one we all need to start with. That is, if you want me to help you, because I've worked with it so long that if you start on The Diet and your body does something funky or crazy on it, I'll know immediately, well, you've got a reverse metabolism, you've got this, you've got that, your medication is probably wrong, let's call your doctor. I can find out all kinds of things on how your body reacts to that diet. It is the cleanest diet I've ever seen in all of my years. It is the original, believe it or not, 1940s diabetic diet. It worked back then. They threw it out. Now they have a diet that has ice cream and everything else, and what are they doing? Selling more insulin. That's what they're doing. But that diet works. If you're a diabetic, contact me, because I do need to alter it a little bit for you, and I'll do some classes for diabetes as well. But for right now, basically this diet's good for putting lupus into remission. It's good for, and I can't legally say that, by the way, so excuse me, I might take that back, because I've heard I can't legally say anything heals or cures or does anything, but I can tell you my personal experience. I've had well over 300 people with lupus, end stages lupus, go into complete long-term remission on that diet. I've had cardiovascular surgeons sending me people right after open heart surgery, because they know that's the diet I'm putting people on. I've had diabetics come even off insulin, yes, even type 1. But you can't really jump into that yourself, okay? So if you're diabetic, remember, you're a special one, and I really do need to deal with you privately, because you go on if you're a diabetic and you just grab a diet off the air or offline, you can go to sleep one night and just not wake up. So please pay attention to me. What we eat is our medicine. And it's like any medicine. You can overdose on it. You can die. You can have adverse effects. Some of you are allergic to certain things. We're going to have a class on allergies and how you know if you're allergic, and what you need to do about it. I'm just going to teach so many things. But anyway, give me your input. So today, what I actually wanted to do was 2 things. One, tell you that you're special to me, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you. I almost died almost 4 years ago, and from that experience I was in a coma, but I wasn't completely awake. I mean, or asleep. I wasn't either. I was in the middle of awake and asleep. I could hear everything around me. I could hear when my oxygen quit pumping and the machine would go off, beep, 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 and I was strangling. And I wanted to thank the nurse when she came in and adjusted the machine so I would breathe again on the respirator. But I couldn't. It was like I was in a coffin and I just couldn't reach out and talk to people. But what that experience did to me, it really, truly made me want to not retire. It made me want to, because I had to question, why am I still here? I've had a long life. I feel, I've lived a lot. I have children, I have grandchildren, I have family. I've loved and I had a life like all of us. But why did I get saved from something that St. Luke Hospital in Houston, Texas said they've never had a survivor? Never. They actually put their board together. It's a teaching hospital, and invented a name for a survivor of what I survived, because it had never ever happened before. I don't know. This is a big question I have. So the only answer I might have to that is, obviously, I'm not finished with my life. I'm not finished with what I need to do. And then I start thinking, well, what do I need to do? Well, you go back to that and say, what do I know? I happen to know things that you don't. And I'm not saying that with a big head or anything. It's just that I've spent 40 years every day, all day long, dealing with diet, dealing with people. I would see the same person sometimes every single day of the week for a month at a time, and I could see exactly what they ate and what it did to them. And then I had such a variance of people that I would see a million different scenarios. So I have the experience that I just don't think many people have. And I need to share this, because right now, do you know that the statistics are saying that almost 70% of children are obese? I know in the generation I'm from, I'm nearly 61 years old. So in my generation, there weren't a lot of overweight people in high school or elementary school, probably nobody really. We always had the saying, there's one fat girl. There was one fat girl in the class. And I know that sounds mean, forgive me if it's politically incorrect, but y'all know what I'm talking about if you're in my age range. There was always just one fat girl. And everybody felt sorry for her because she was the fat girl. And everyone else was just skinny back then. But as the years went on, now there might be one skinny girl in the class, maybe. Everyone's just, they're big. Like, I know it was difficult for most of us in my age range we didn't really start putting on a lot of weight till we started having children and our hormones changed and our lifestyles changed. But now, can you imagine being a little child and just obese? What are you gonna do about that? If we don't know how to fix us, what are we gonna do with these children? I think what's making a difference with this as well is because about a week before I landed in the hospital, and it was my last patient before I got sick. It was a 5-year-old little girl. She had type 2 diabetes, so it was diet caused, and high blood pressure, and she was 50 pounds overweight, and she was 5. And I'm sitting there, what can you really say to a 5-year-old? Just simplistic little things, but they don't control the grocery shopping. They don't control the cooking. They're too little to learn food chemistry. They might really have to. Well, actually, they can do computers better than I can. Maybe they need to be learning some food chemistry. But I remember sitting there trying to tell the mom what she needed to do to help this little girl, to help her daughter. And the mother was just chewing gum, staring off into space, and it was bored. Folks, personally, I think nutrition is kind of a boring subject myself. It's not the most exciting thing on the world, but we have to have it. It's what causes us to stay alive. It's what can kill us. It's what we have to pass down from generation to generation. It's just part of being a human being. So we need to learn this. So I realized when that mother was not paying any attention, that child didn't have a chance. So if she's 5, let's think about this just for a minute. Regular, and I'm my era I'm talking because that's what I know the best. most of us started experiencing friends and family and stuff starting to have heart attacks around the age 50. Maybe high blood pressure might start in the 40s, heart attack happen around 50-ish, right? Okay, what about a child that's 5 and their blood pressure is already high, they're already type 2 diabetes? What about that child? How many years? If it takes from 45 to 50 to have that heart attack or stroke, is the child going to be 10? I mean, we're at a full epidemic here. Even in the UAE, they say that up to 90% are diabetic, diet caused. This is a global crisis. We've got all kinds of crises going on now, but this one's been going on. And I haven't really seen anyone rise to the occasion to fix this. All I've seen are people rising to the occasion with a new gimmick to come take your money. And then nothing really works. Well, you know what? I take that back. All diets work. Everything works for a minute. You go on it, it'll work for a while, you'll lose a few pounds, you get so excited, but just like that, the weight all comes back, you feel even worse, and then on top of the weight coming back, you gain more weight, because every time you diet, you slow down your metabolism, so you don't just gain back what you lost, you gain back what you lost plus 10 more. And so when that happens, what does that do? That affects your head. You start getting depressed, you get mad at yourself, you're just not living your best life. So what I want to do with the rest of my life is hopefully encourage and educate and share the knowledge that I've paid a hefty price to gain, and share it and help you have your best life. And then you can help your children and your grandchildren have their best lives. And then maybe someone will come along that's going to be a whole lot smarter than I am and learn a lot more things that I've not been able to pick up, just because the timing's not here for that. But I do have 40 years experience. I'm coming from a good place that I really want to help save people. I'm very fortunate because I've seen a lot of people get healed from this, a lot of people. I'm going to tell you a story. There was a lady once. She was very, very famous. She was a celebrity, and she had written one of the top songs out of the 60s. If I could sing, I'd sing it to you, but I can't sing, and you'd all hang up the phone and run away right now. Trust me, if I tried to sing to you. But this song was a top song, and you would know it if I said it to you. She lost her entire career because she had a car accident. And after the car accident, the medications and the steroids made her start gaining weight. Well, she really gained weight. I'm going to teach on some future classes about set points and plateaus and things like that, and why we have them and how to get around them and when not to get around them, etc. But she apparently didn't have set points like she should have, and her body skyrocketed to she gained 300 pounds in no time, just straight up. She didn't gain and then stop and freak out over it, try to diet and back and forth, diet, gain, lose. She didn't do it. She just went straight up, and she gained about 300 pounds. So she lost her career, and when I got her, she was over 500 pounds. She could not fit into any of my chairs. We had to, in my office, put 2x4s under the chairs because they would break. We couldn't let her in the toilets because the toilets crushed a couple of times. And then I actually helped her replace the toilet in her house because it crushed. It was a sad situation, and she just couldn't find help anywhere. And this gastric bypass, we'll talk about that in another class too. But anyway, she ended up losing she lost 300 pounds with me. She looked great. If you caught the class yesterday, you'll remember what I said. If you lose weight the right way, where you're not burning your muscle tissue, you're not going to develop a lot of flab. So you'll always look like you were thin. You'll never look like you were ever heavy if you lose it the right way. But she lost over 300 pounds, and she looked like she had always just weighed. She didn't have all this excess flab or anything. A good, happy side effect of that was her husband was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, and he was on insulin. So I moved away, his life. I didn't plan out this career any particular time and create a name and just launch my career and plan it out over all these decades. I just rolled with life. So, I happened to be living where she lived, and then I moved away, and a couple years later I went back and I went to visit her, because if you're working with someone that loses 300 pounds, you get to know each other, you become close. So I went to her house, surprised her, knocked on her door, and I walked in the door, and you'll never believe what I saw. Her husband, who had come off insulin when she lost the 300 pounds, the whole family was getting healed, was sitting in a wheelchair with a leg gone. And I said, "What happened to you?" And she just said, tell her what happened to you." What he said was, it was my fault because I moved away, and he quit caring when I moved away. So you can't be dependent on me. I'm going to educate you so you can help yourself and you can help your family. But he blamed me because I left. He said he just quit caring, so he came off of it. And I said, "Well, you were diabetic. You came off insulin, and now you've lost a leg." "Well, you've lost a leg, and you were off insulin. He wasn't even on metformin. He was basically in remission from diabetes, I guess." That's not the end of that story. And I started crying. And then she just says, "Oh, don't cry yet, honey." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "They cut off the wrong leg." So he was waiting for the next surgery to go in and take the other leg off. So in other words, I have a lifetime of stories. I've seen just about everything. I've had eating disorders where a young girl had, I was pregnant at the time, and she came into my clinic, and I thought she had measles. And you can't be around measles if you're pregnant. And so I had to ask her, I said, "Do you have measles?" She was stabbing herself with a fork every time she'd get upset with herself. So she had sores, and she had scars, and she had all kinds of stuff. And I had a patient one time, a young boy, 15, who almost cut his own spleen out. He was a cutter because that was an eating disorder. I've done a lot, just a lot in my lifetime. So I don't really know where to actually start with you unless you tell me where you want me to start, and we'll go from there. But the first thing you need to do, get my book. That diet is your starting point. It's not your ending point, but it's your start. You will go through that. You will detox on that. Actually, it's gonna look like this, kind of. So you don't get upset when you go and buy the book and go, "Oh, I thought I was getting a book I could curl up in front of a fire and read." No, this is like made very simple, with just it's instructions where you can go through. It tells you what's important. It tells you exactly what to eat. So there's no questions about it. It's very easy, very informative. If you get on this, then I can always help you, because I can judge what's happening to your body, and I can tell you how to judge and how to change things. So www.KetoCatie.com and get the diet. You do need this. Also, with the diet, you're gonna need a food scale. You can get one just as easy and cheap as this, or you can get something really fancy. This one works just as good as a $200 one. I have some of these, actually. If anyone needs one, email me, because sometimes they're hard to find. But you're gonna need a food scale. You're gonna also need measuring cups and measuring spoons. Now, I don't count calories. I don't believe in calorie counting. I think it's a stupid system. It's stupid. It does not work. It doesn't even make common sense to me about calories. The calories don't make sense because, let's just say you have this banana and it's 150 calories. Well, where'd they get that calorie count? Someone broke it down in a lab to see how many units of measurement it took to break that banana into energy, and the unit of measurement happened to be calories, so they said 150. I don't know about you, but my body is not a perfect chemical lab. If I eat that banana, my body's not going to react like a lab. I don't know how many calories that banana is going to be for me, and I know other people that are around me, that same banana might be 800 calories for them. It might be 102 for me, 89 for you. It's a stupid measurement because we are all laboratories and we're all extremely different. But you do have to measure your food. There's no other way of knowing how much you're eating. Quantity matters. That's another problem with this big keto thing. They're just saying mass quantities, eat all you can eat. Just make sure it's just high protein, no carbs. That's ridiculous. You have to have carbs in your diet. You have to have it to live anyway. We all know that. That's why we love them. But you can't do a high protein diet with fat and just eat all you want to in the whole world. You just can't do it. It would be so easy for me to sell my program to people if I told them stuff like that. Of course you're gonna buy it. How easy is that? So I am sorry, but you do have to weigh and measure because you can't tell the amounts that's going in your system unless you do. So you're gonna do a food scale and you will weigh your protein. It's not unlimited. It is not. There's nothing in this life unlimited. Everyone should realize by now that there's balance. You have to have balance in this world. Everything has to be balanced. Yin and yang, everything. You can't, there's nothing that's unlimited. There's nothing that you could just have forever without paying a price for it. You can't even have unlimited water. There's a lot of stuff telling people to drink water, like mass quantities of water. Do you know that'll give you a heart attack if you drink more than you should? Do you know a little girl, it was on the news like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, some little girl, the parents were abusing her and they chained her up and they poured this water down her and she had a heart attack. I mean, you can't, there is nothing in this world unlimited. We have to balance everything. So protein is not unlimited. So you will weigh it on the scale and see how much you're eating. Now you don't have to do that forever. After you do it for a little while, you can see it, you can eyeball it, you know what you're eating, if it's too much or not too much. And then as your metabolism gets well, which it will, the longer you're on my program, the healthier you get, the more your metabolic rate will work. When that gets well, you can eat more. I think I'm the only diet in the world that the longer you're on it, the more food you get. Every other diet, you have to get less and less food because your metabolism slows down. On mine, we fix your metabolism, so I feed you more and more. By the time you leave me, I will have taught you how to bring everything back in, everything, because we don't need to be naive and silly and stupid about this and just pretend with blinders on, you never, ever, ever, ever are gonna eat sugar again. Well, you probably are. Even if you're diabetic, you're probably gonna have sugar again. You're probably gonna have whatever again, something, whatever. So you need to learn to let your body digest it, metabolize it, and learn to turn it into energy for you like it's supposed to. So anyway, these are like measuring cups, measuring spoons. You're gonna need those until you get used to this. It tells you in the book exactly what the measurements need to be. If you are, say, 100 pounds or more overweight, contact me because I will have to change the book some for you. If you're on specific medications, contact me. If you're diabetic, absolutely contact me because I'll have to give you something a little different to get started. But anyway, the diet that you're getting is called The Diet. KetoCatie.com. Go get that book because it is going to be the healthiest thing you've ever done. It's actually in line for the prevention of cancer, and I'm going to teach about that too. Having an alkaline body versus acidic, just everything to keep you healthy as long as you can possibly be healthy. So measuring cups and spoons, they're not just to decorate your thing or to measure flour and sugar for a cake, but we're going to start using them even for vegetables. Can you eat too many vegetables? Of course you can. Of course you can. I was on the news one time, they were interviewing me, and this news reporter just really got it. She just was upset with me. She was a fitness fanatic and was really into it. She was cut and buff and all this, and she got very angry when I said that you have to limit lettuce. She was angry, and she just tried like arguing me in the news interview. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do I just blast her out of the water and tell her every single thing I know so she's just proven wrong right here? and I look like a royal jerk, but I'm right? Or how do I handle this? I'm on the news, I don't know how to handle it. So I just kind of smiled and said I disagreed. But you can eat too much lettuce, you can eat too much broccoli, you can eat too much of everything. Again, you can have too much water, so everything needs to be measured. So water, two things I want to show you. I would get the prettiest water bottle I could possibly find, because this is going to be in your hand for the next forever. So get something you enjoy. Plastic has already been proven that if it heats up, the plastic particles somehow, whatever it is, it dumps down into the water, and it's been known to cause breast cancer and some other things. So I don't really trust plastic water. I trust better a filter. If you buy a filtration system for your sink, or even one of those little filter, I'll buy one and show you what it looks like. It's just like a pitcher. You just pour it through and filter it. That's just as good as this bottled water. But I would get a measuring bottle to put my water in that I'm going to drink all day, because you're going to need to drink between 2 and 3 quarts a day. No less, no more. And it's easy to measure if you just drink out of one thing. And it just helps to have something pretty. Now, if you're a man, you probably don't care about the bling, but I like the bling. Let me tell you what else I do to help out. This is not suffering. Although your first 3 days on this diet, you will suffer a little. You're going to be hungry, grouchy, get a little bit of headache. You might even have a moment you think you're going to die if you just don't go grab something else different to eat. You won't die, you'll live, suffer through it. You'll be okay, give it 3 days, you'll feel awesome. You'll have more energy than you've had in years. You won't be hungry, and you'll just feel good. And you actually drop about probably 5 pounds your first 3 days anyway, and that always helps out to feel good. Side note, weigh yourself one time now, then put it away. Throw it away if you have to. Do not get back on that scale again. I'm going to teach you a lot about a scale and just exactly how it lies to you. But anyway, this is not suffering. This is another point I really want to make. When you start eating this way, this is a live-it, not a diet. We're not dying here. We're not punishing ourselves for bad behavior. You know, we ate so horrible and now we got to punish ourselves and starve to death. No, this is a present you're giving yourself. You're giving yourself the gift of life and energy and wholeness. So I kind of like to make it feel that way. Some people might be like me, some people don't have to bother, but I just thought I'd show you what I've done through the years to make it a little, I don't know, nicer. Okay, water. Since you did, I guess you lost me, I walked over here. Anybody recognize this? A martini shaker, right? Well, I use it for my water. Here's a hint. Here's a diet secret I'll tell you today. Do you know, because this is all this stuff going out, should you drink room temperature water, cold water, hot? What's the best water to drink? And I think the word on the street out in LA now is basically room temperature. And if you don't say room temperature, then you don't know what's up out here. But the truth is, cold water is what you want to drink if you're trying to lose weight. Think about it. When you drink cold water, your body has to increase energy and the metabolism to warm it up to fit your internal temperature. So cold water is what you want to do when you're losing weight. So, but I like to do, because I love that cold martini kind of icy but not icy thing. I put my water in a martini shaker with ice, and then I shake it, and then I get a pretty glass when I'm at home, and I pour it in, and this is how I drink my water at home. So I actually feel like I'm having something awesome, because in reality I am having something awesome. I'm having what I have to have to be healthy. So we all have to do the water, and so just sometimes making it a little nicer. It's not a punishment. Just doing these little plastic bottles and throwing, I don't know. Be careful about those. So I do recommend with your water bottle to get one that's not plastic. Okay, don't do plastic. That's why you'll see that mine is not, because of the whole plastic thing. Speaking of plastic, here's another diet secret I'll throw out at you today. Did you know that margarine is basically one molecule away from plastic? So you cannot have margarine on my program. No margarine. If you look at margarine, doesn't it look the same as the bowl it's sitting in? No, you can have real butter. So what we're doing in this program is we're coming back to, we're doing real things. We're coming off of fake, we're coming off of diet, we're gonna do real things, real butter, real mayonnaise. Don't buy anything diet. Don't buy any, well, you can have Diet Coke, I guess, but outside of that, or Crystal Light, don't buy anything diet. Don't even think to call me or say, oh, this, and you got this great new package, and it's so many carbs and so many calories, and this is the greatest thing. No, okay, no, nothing diet. We're gonna learn to have regular, real food, eat the amounts we're supposed to eat. It'll satisfy us better anyway, and life will just be happier and cheaper, and then we can pass that down to the next generation. They don't stand a chance because they've been brought up in a chemical-laden society, and they're not in the backyard playing all day like we were. They're with video games. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna live to be as old as we are if we don't. There's gotta be a change starting to help in here somewhere. Okay, next thing I'm gonna take, because I'm almost finished. Get the book, get the diet, gotta have it. And then this book is on my website too. It's actually called Help God on Fat. I'm just gonna show you. I actually do have real sit down and read it. Okay, this is a read it book. This will teach you a lot about the science behind weight loss. I haven't published it yet, but you can buy it from me on my site. It has 247 pages, so it's the real thing. I was not trying to rip anyone off by selling the diet book as a reading book. It's a guidebook to get you started on a diet. It is what I call it to be, the diet. Help God on Fat, though, I would only get this if you're a Christian. There's all kinds of faiths out there. I love everybody, but this book, you probably wouldn't like it so much if you're not a Christian. It has a lot of Bible scripture in it. I'm going to tell you one more thing before I go. Almost everyone is acidic, and that's where disease grows, and you tend to gain more weight, and it's harder to lose weight, and it's harder. We need to become alkaline. One of the easiest ways to become alkaline and to cut heartburn, and it just does all kinds of wonderful things, is this Arm & Hammer baking soda. I really believe in this. Every day, get a teaspoon of this Arm & Hammer baking soda. I'll show you one more thing. This is my little shot glass. You can see it's pretty. You put the baking soda in there with water, and just take a shot of it. If you do that at least once a day, twice preferably in the morning and at night, it'll start cutting back a lot of the stomach acids. It'll help heartburn. It will help turn you alkaline. So that's one of my little tricks too. Get the baking soda. So I'm going to finish for today. Thank you for listening to me. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that 1, you're special. 2, this is a present you're giving yourself. It's not a punishment. It's a present. 3, it's going to work, and you'll be happier and have a healthier life for it, and those around you will as well. Next, you can do it with fashion sense. You don't have to, sit down. I think whoever's eating this way and change their lifestyle of eating to be healthier, you should treat yourself to the nicer plates, the nicer whatever, because you're doing something good for you. If you're a mom doing this, feed the entire family what you're eating. Don't separate and you have something and they have something different. Feed everybody this. This is healthy. Now, they might eat something you can't because you are trying to lose some weight, but maybe give them some extra dishes you're not having. But the basic meal, I would just feed that to everyone, because that assures their foundation of health is happening. So anyway, email me, let me know what you want me to teach on, and I'll start preparing the classes from there. I hope you join me. The classes will be free, not much longer, but until I get this whole system down, I'm figuring out how to teach right and get the classes down. I'll still experiment. If you don't mind me experimenting with you, then you can lose weight, and I get to learn how to teach these classes online, and we help each other. But if you need help, if you have more than 20 pounds to lose, you probably need me. So I would enroll in the program that's on my website, to where it's $300 a month, but that gives you 90 minutes of one-on-one with me for that month. I'll talk to you every single day, and I'll adapt your diet every day for you, so you don't have to think about it. And then when it's over, I'll teach you how to do maintenance and stabilization. I can only take so many people, and then I'm going to run out of room because there's just me. So I would hurry up, because I'm starting to get a lot of people. I thank you for a lot of my old clients and stuff. You're finding me. Hello to everybody. I miss you, and hopefully one day we'll all meet again in person. I was hoping to do seminars again, but I guess this is the new normal. So y'all take care. I love you. God bless, and be healthy today. Look for my posts. I'll try to send you some diet secrets every single day, and just look me up. I'm here to help. Take care. Bye, y'all.